Hi, friends. I'm Katie.
And I'm Lauren. And welcome to Okay, But Did You Know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today we're recapping and chatting about Bob's Burgers, Season 7, Episode 15, 8 Miss Debatin', and Episode 16, Eggs for Days.
I'm sorry. Why is it always eggs on this podcast? Why?
I was waiting for this day too. I was so excited for this day. I just didn't say anything. I wanted to see how you would react.
You needed my raw reaction so I could just yell at you again with, why are there eggs?
It's the best day of my life. Anyways.
Always eggs.
It's always eggs. And, if that's a continual theme, we have a problem. Just saying.
I would say so, yeah. In what other podcast is a continual theme eggs popping up in your source material?
Cooking?
Unless you're writing a cookbook on 5 million ways to cook eggs, I don't think this is common.
It is really funny that it's two separate shows, but it's always eggs.
It's always eggs.
But let's go ahead and get into the synopsis for episode 15, 8 Miss Debatin'. Tina is invited to join the debate team, and she decides to join even though she has a fear of public speaking. She learns quickly that they don't argue for what they believe in. They argue what they're assigned. Henry Haber tries to pull Tina out of her shell and bring her passion into her debates. Tina finds her firefly, and then Henry Haber asks her on a date. Tina ends up being a great debater, and they're about to go up against King's Head Island on an overnight trip. Sasha and a new kid, Duncan, are their competition, and Tina gets a crush on the new kid. She struggles with her attraction to Duncan and her relationship with Henry, as well as the debate she is supposed to be competing in. During the debate, she admits that she kissed Duncan and breaks up with Henry. Somehow they still win the competition, and she apologizes to Henry. The other Belcher kids claim some dropped hamburger meat and create Meat Man. Louise takes some pictures of Meat Man and decides to make a stop-motion movie with him. They convince their parents to fund their movie, and the Belcher family set up set. Sadly, Meat Man starts to rot, and they have to end the movie with a literal bang. Only Hugo shows up for a surprise health inspection, and they convince him to not write them a citation for blowing up Meat Man in the restaurant. So you're worried about eggs, and I'm like, Meat Man!
I'm also worried about Meat Man.
Also. But what did you get for the vacant storefront?
Looks like we're in for nasty leather.
The play on the line looks like we're in for nasty weather. But I love that you can see in the window.
Like a bodice or something?
It's two mannequins.
Yeah.
And they're wearing leather lingerie.
Yeah.
And the pest control truck.
House of Debuggin' Pest Control.
It's all right.
Yeah. And then I only got one burger. There were a couple,
the
but
other one's they're not fully visible.
Yes, I only got one that that one even still wasn't fully visible, but I could figure it out. That was the Choys Are Back in Town burger.
The Choys Are Back in Town. Yeah, it even says it's partial, so you did pick up on it, which is really awesome.
That one was more a case of that's what it seemed like based off of what I could see.
Yeah. So we do have a couple of new characters in this, kind of. Just because Sasha's returned, we have Henry Haber. We've had these characters. We know who these people are. I told you before, there are a lot of characters in Bob's Burgers, and a lot of them rotate. Yeah. But we have Rhys Darby plays Duncan.
Yes, I caught that.
Which is very easy to pick up on, honestly.
Well, because when honestly, here's the thing: is when you have a New Zealand character in a voice acting role, it's usually either Rhys Darby or Taika Waititi.
It really is.
It clearly wasn't Taika. It had to be Rhys Darby.
And then, of course, you have Nick Kroll as Mr. DeSanto. Mm-hmm. But the title is a reference to the Fats Waller song, Ain't Misbehavin'. Mm-hmm. The episode aired immediately following Aquaticism on March 26, 2017. It was actually billed as an hour-long episode by Fox. So they had Aquaticism and this back-to-back.
It's an interesting coupling.
That's interesting, right?
Yeah.
When Louise asks if anyone can do a Russian accent, everyone else there responds except for Gene. This is ironic given the fact that Gene's voice actor, Eugene Merman, is a native Russian who emigrated from when he emigrated, it was still the USSR, to the United States when he was 4 years old.
Oh, interesting.
So he's Russian.
He probably can do a Russian accent.
He probably has a great Russian accent. And the brand of firecrackers, I can say that word, Teddy gives to Louise is called Lil Bangs.
That makes sense.
And I wrote down a few lines, because I know we love the lines. I have 1, 2, 3, 5?
8. I have 8.
Damn. I'm starting to see, like, is there a correlation to how many lines you wrote down to how much you liked the episode?
Not necessarily.
Like, I really sorry.
We can do the analysis, but I think there are times I've written down a lot of things and still given it not a great score.
Yeah. I just really got to love with the first one. Like, my first one, though, is just so small talk. What about it? Just getting it out of the way.
Pretending to strongly believe in something you don't is great preparation for being like a lawyer or a stepdad.
This stepdad is what got me.
Yeah.
Oh, fun. I love the metric system. I give it a 10 out of 10.
That was funny.
That one's so good.
Usually we just do the opposite of what Tina does, and it's fun.
Please, we won't ask for any meat for Christmas this year.
I had that one. Technically, meat's not a toy.
I'm behaving.
No, you're not.
I'll let you do another one because I'm too...
Only Ursa Minor will be visible, but we'll have Ursa Major fun.
Look, I have to say, if at 13, if a boy showed up with like, or even just a date, showed up with do a telescope date, and like look at the stars and the planets, oh, I'd be in love.
Here's the thing.
That is so up my alley.
As long as it's with somebody that I'm saying now as an adult, because there are areas around here, because we have a lot of light pollution, but there are areas that are very good for this kind of viewing. Like with someone that I know and am in love with and in a relationship with, that's one I wouldn't do this with a new person, but like someone that I know very well and trust, I would go camping to look at the stars for like a night.
Would that be like a 4th date thing you would do, or does that have to be further?
I would say if I'm going to be going to a campsite or in the woods, that has to be like, we need to be together for like 6 months.
That's fair.
Yeah.
See, where I grew up, we didn't have light pollution because I grew up in the middle of nowhere. So the stars that I used to be able to see, I was spoiled growing up. I had that all the time. I miss it every day. But where we live now, I'm now in suburbia, even though I'm still technically in the middle of nowhere. It's a suburbia in the middle of nowhere. I miss the stars.
Yeah, like we have decent star, like you can see it, but it's still not as good. Like when the Northern Lights were visible a few months ago,
Lucky.
Like it was so pretty. Like, and to be fair, like there was stuff I could see with my naked eye. It wasn't as vibrant. The pictures made it. I was able to make the pictures much more vibrant because our cameras are really good. But it was like definitely there were areas where you could see it far more visibly with your naked eye than I could have. It was just kind of like a purple or pinkish sheen that like you almost could have convinced yourself your eyes were just fucking with you.
Ooh. See, and I'm too far south.
Yeah.
I was too far south. You sang a breakup song on his answering machine. It was a rap, Bob.
Nice going, hotshot. You lost the line.
The whole time she's been looking for the bomb, and it's in his butt.
She likes them not quite a man and hard to understand.
Oh.
Then I think I have one more. Do you have any more?
Okay, I don't have any more.
All right. If you can figure out a way to take off your shirt during the debate, do it. Just use my arms, right?
Right. He's so fucking funny. Just like, did they just put him in a room and go, have fun? Like, he's so
honestly
fucking funny.
He's so funny.
I have to agree with Henry, though. I am also still mad that they canceled Firefly.
That was a very good thing to hold on to for his hatred moment. Like, I never watched Firefly, but I understand that hatred.
Look, I hate Joss Whedon, but please watch Firefly. And now you're never going to watch it because I asked you to.
Nope, exactly, because you know me too well.
It's like a weird space western, but with like Asian aspects, because for some odd reason Joss Whedon thought the Chinese were going to take over.
Okay,
even
then.
Like out in the planets. So, but it's
okay.
really good.
Okay.
But it had one season, and they of course put the season out in the wrong order. So when you watch it online, I think it's in the right order online. It might be. It might be in the correct order you're supposed to watch it in streaming.
Okay.
And then they got canceled, and the only way that they could like actually conclude the story is they made a movie, and the movie destroys your soul. So
okay, then.
And for all my fans who know what I'm talking about, I love you, but I'm a leaf on the wind. Watch as I soar. One day I will convince you, and you'll love me, and it'll all work out.
It's the thing, it's like there are some things that I'm an easier sell on than others, especially, but like I'm aware like the persistent demand avoidance thing is not a healthy coping mechanism.
Not really.
Not really. But like when it comes to like TV shows, it is what it is. But I'm easier sells on things. When it comes to sci-fi and fantasy, those are going to be your hardest sells for me to get over the hump of you told me I should watch it, therefore I'm never going to.
That's fair because like the Orville is really amazing, and I know you enjoy the Orville,
Yeah.
and so this one's not too much like because like the Orville's closer to, of course, Star Trek
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
McFarlane is a huge Trekkie.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, Firefly is like one of its own things. Like it really is a thing of its own.
Mm-hmm.
And Nathan Fillion does. I mean, the whole cast does
I
an
mean,
amazing job.
Alan Tudyk is in that
Honestly,
too, right?
Alan Tudyk is their pilot,
Mm.
yes, and he is so fucking funny. And there is a scene. Maybe this will convince you. There is a scene. Can't remember. I think it was in the show or the movie. It's in one of them. It's been a while since I've watched. Where it's just Alan Tudyk playing with plastic dinosaurs.
That sounds about right.
Only to find out that's what he did to audition for the role.
That sounds like him.
And
I can't
so
explain why.
but it's got some of the best lines you'll ever hear. They really it really is a great show. I just don't like
Mhm.
Joss Whedon for
Yeah.
very obvious reasons.
No, that's
But
fair.
like Firefly is one of those things that
Mhm.
it is a cultural movement to the point the brown coats people, they still meet up. They still meet
Mhm.
up. There are still conventions. Like it is the shortest show ever.
Mhm.
Huge fan base. Like it is so fucking good. Like my ex-husband showed it to me and I still love it. Like
Mhm.
it's so good. I had to make my husband watch it too, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Someone loves me out there. I'll find them. But what did you think of this?
I liked this episode. I think it was. I mean, it's a little disjointed, but less
Mhm.
so than other ones we've had. Where obviously the meat Mason situation doesn't have a whole lot to do with the debate stuff.
But it's so funny.
But it's so. I was but the whole time just like, why would the meat man? Why? And like meat Mason. Oh dear God, no. Like I it's good on Louise for finding a creative outlet for her boredom. I'm not discounting that. And Jean's impression of Linda was weirdly good.
It's so good.
It's scarily good. But it's just. Oh, I didn't highlight this one. I just wrote at one point. I just wrote down. She's actually not amazing. She's just loud. I don't know who said that about who.
I don't either.
I don't know. Oh no, that wasn't a line. That was me commenting when she finds her Firefly that is Jimmy Jr. talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
And she just starts talking loudly about whatever it is they're debating. And someone says she's amazing. And so I wrote down she's not amazing. She's just loud.
And like it's really interesting looking at this aspect because we constantly are having to talk about this whole thing between her and Jimmy Jr. This is never going to end. Sadly, it's like that's just her thing.
Mhm.
But it's so frustrating that her passion is being angry that the boy she likes is talking to someone else. And it's
Yeah.
just like very fitting for a 13-year-old.
Oh, it's very relatable.
But then it's also just so funny because she's like, I have a fear of public speaking. Immediately does great.
Yeah, well, because it is part of she has the fear of public speaking, but we've seen her get over her stage fright like
Multiple times.
the entire time. But I was with Tina when Henry like starts to. What I did not like that. I mean, I get why he did it, but the thing of like let's debate dating or not dating. You take pro, I take con. Like clearly, obviously, what he's going to do there is just say she won. But I was like, it's kind of creepy to do it that way. But I was with Tina. Dating is not debatable.
It's not debatable.
If it's a no, it's an. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. That's just how dating works.
I mean, their date was only like 20 minutes, so
it was, but then they continue and like she keeps finding the reasons and like it's like, babe, you're just not that into him and it's okay.
That is okay. It was just funny though because I did write down, LOL, just watch us talk about our shortest dates.
Yeah, well, because I can't think I had like super short ones, but like I appreciate the fact of like I wrote down at one point in the thing of like you don't have to go out with everyone who expresses interest. Like if you don't like them, you don't have to date them. Like I'm trying to think of like my short, like I wouldn't say like an hour probably.
I think mine's about the same. It's a horrible story. It's so sad.
Do you want to tell it?
So I grew up near a military base.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of just military in the area. And there was just this guy that asked me out. He went to a different school than I did.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like I told you, I grew up in the middle of nowhere. So getting to me was definitely probably interesting, trying to pick me up for that one. But there was a movie theater on base. And it was really cheap to go to.
Mm-hmm.
The movie that was showing at the time was The Tooth Fairy.
Okay.
He takes me to it.
Yeah.
First date. We're teenagers in high school.
Mm-hmm.
immediately like trying to get a little bit too intimate. And I'm like, dude, we just met. Can we
Mm-hmm.
not?
Yeah.
Only for us to be me to be like, hey, this movie's really lame. I do not want to be here. Can we leave? We leave. He then decides to drive us around, park behind a family Y, and try to convince me to get into the back seat of his car.
No.
And as I'm sitting in the front seat, he's sitting in the back, and I'm like, fucker, you take me home now or you're going to seriously get hurt. He then tries to take the cell phone, because I'm using my dad's cell phone. I wasn't allowed a cell phone in high school. I had my dad's cell phone in my hand. Tries to take the cell phone out of my hand. I punched him.
Good for you. Good for you.
And I went home. He took me home after that. I walk in the door. Both my parents look up and go, how are you already home? I was like, don't want to talk about it. I'm going to bed. So that was fun.
I have two that are about the same length. I don't remember if I've actually told one on the podcast or if I just told you.
Yeah. Everything blends together.
I know. So it's really hard. So one of them's with a guy, one of them's with a woman. But the guy, the date itself was very uneventful. We literally just got lunch and that was it. It was between classes, as we were in college. But the sad part of the date story is we met on OkCupid, and
I forgot that existed.
I know. And we're planning the date, and it isn't until we were figuring out a time to go that we realized not only were we in the same American literature class, he sat directly in front of me. And here's the thing. This is what makes it even worse. I don't remember the guy's name. Actually, this isn't even the part that makes it worse. I don't remember his name, but my friends and I just referred to him as Neckbeard, and that's now all I know him by. But this is what makes it worse if he sat directly in front of me. Because when most people think college, like American, like these classes, they think they're like huge lectures.
No.
30 people.
It's not a big class usually.
Like,
unless you're in a really big college.
But that kind of like general literature classes tend to be on the bigger side for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not my college. I was in one large literature class. I went one large lecture class once. Mm-hmm. Every other class, 30 people. He sat directly in front of me. So there was that. And then another one, that same year, I think, a woman also on OkCupid. I really had to stop finding people on OkCupid.
Yeah, I don't go back to that one.
No, but I don't plan on it. And like, I'm all for doing this as a date if this is like a hobby that's built into your life and you're sharing a bit of your life with me. We went to a yoga class. So like we didn't do a whole lot of talking. Like we talked she picked me up at my building. We walked over to the gym. We took the class and we kind of talked on the way back. But like, and it was like a beginner yoga class. It wasn't super like hard or anything. I mean, I wasn't in shape, so it was a yoga class.
Yeah.
But as we're walking back, I asked like, oh, how long have you been doing yoga? Oh, that was my first class. Bitch, why did we go to a yoga class?
Oh my God, you could have gone and got coffee.
Literally, we could have gone to get coffee. And no, she took me to a yoga class. Her first, because like she's trying to build her own habit, and like she's like, I feel like I've been like doubled up on. Like you're trying to build your own habit and go on a date. I'm very confused.
Like that doesn't work.
It was very strange.
I'm so happy I'm married. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for me.
I say that as someone who's like, I'm polyamorous. I'm not actively seeking another relationship, so I'm just kind of sitting here like, I'm so happy I'm married.
It's the thing is like, because your thing is you can date. You don't.
I can.
Have to.
I don't want to right now.
I don't have to either. I would like to in the near future, but
get situated first.
Yeah, that's the plan.
But no, this episode is really funny. I love the Meat Man storyline. I don't know what it is about it. It's just like, it's kids being kids, in all honesty.
But why didn't they just build a new Meat Man? Why did
because
they keep?
It's not Meat Man.
But you can build a new. Like I guess it's the point of the plot that like he starts rotting. But I'm like, why with the rotted meat? Is this in and of itself is a health hazard? And then obviously Hugo walks in, and I was like, for once, I think I'm on Hugo's side.
For the fact that Hugo agreed to it, though.
He's not a good health inspector.
He's a terrible health inspector.
He's really not good. But I also wrote down, I'm pro-robot for president.
At this point, let the aliens take over.
Honestly. But what child needs a sleep apnea machine? Like, that's really...
I thought that was something that is usually picked up on later in life.
Usually it is.
But I guess not for Henry Haber. They really had to go, how can we make this guy
as unappealing?
Like, yeah, like, how do we do that? And they went sleep apnea and debate team.
Yeah. I think
the telescope thing is cool. I'm sorry. I love space.
I agree. I think the telescope thing, especially for like a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
I think that's a great low pressure date.
Yeah.
You go, you look at some stars, look at some planets, and you talk. That's all a date should be. Like a good date should be talking at the end of the day.
The whole family though being like actually shocked. They're like, "Oh wow, this is really happening." Like,
Yeah, like
everybody.
he's here. That's a thing.
Because poor Tina being like, "Oh, I know what it means to be asked on a date. If you show up, you show up. If you don't, you don't." And I'm like, that's just sad. That
Yeah.
is so sad. Like Jimmy Jr. has treated her so poorly
Yeah.
that she doesn't expect him to even show up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so, so messed up. And I just continue to hate Jimmy Jr.
Yeah, same.
As everyone should.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of any point that he's redeemable.
I have yet to see one.
And we're 7 seasons in.
Exactly.
Now, I say that as we're on season 15, but
still.
I love how I'm always like, we're almost halfway. Another episode comes out. Never mind.
Never mind. It's just that finish line just keeps getting further and further away.
Further and further. Let it keep going, please.
Yes, we do want to keep going.
We want this to keep going. I sometimes get worried because Bob's is super queer.
Yeah.
So it's got to keep going. So please let it keep going.
Yeah. I was a little I was a little disappointed when they showed Rhys Darby's character, because when they said like he's an exchange student, he talks with an accent so no one can understand him. I was fully prepared for him to be talking gibberish, kind of like that character from Brave that's like actually talking like a really deep Scots dialect.
Yep.
I was like really looking forward to him like speaking like complete gibberish. I was a little disappointed he was just talking his usual Rhys Darby nonsense.
I think the guy's actually speaking a language that's actually old, like an old Scottish language or something in Brave.
Yeah, Kevin McKidd plays both the son and the lord of whatever. And yeah, he's talking like the actual dialect from where he's from.
Like, it's so good. I love it. Cool. I love that they did that, honestly. Yeah.
But yes, I was hoping it would be something like that, but it was just him talking the nonsense that is usually you just set Rhys Darby loose in a recording booth.
I feel like if there was a script, I'd like to see it like for him specifically. Like,
I would love to see
it exist.
Because I feel like, especially when I see more and more like what they do with like Hell of a Boss and like those kinds of things, especially for the actors that are big improvers, like they usually say like, can we just get one take as written and then you just do whatever you want. Fun. So I can imagine it's something similar to that, but I don't know.
Yeah, it gives like Robin Williams vibes.
Yeah,
like it's got it. Like that's how I feel like that's what happens with Taiki Waititi as well. Is like just put him in a room.
Yeah,
just put him in a room. Who's another actor that probably does that a lot? I'm trying to think. There's another one, and it's like on the tip of my brain, and I can't. There's another one.
Apparently, Richard Horvitz was a big improver also, because I keep seeing clips of him from some podcast, and one of the ones I think it's hilarious. It's from the Invader Zim movie, which I think it was a TikTok sound at one point, but it was the lines were "You're ugly when you lie, Dib," and then he goes, "I'm not lying," and that was just the end of the line. But then when he added, "Then why are you ugly?"
Just so good.
It's such a good way to end that joke, though.
So what did you rate this one?
So I gave Ain't Miss Debatin' 8s for plot and character. It was solid. It was I enjoyed Meat Man. It was entertaining and it was good to see the kids, and like the kids and the parents kind of work together to do that. Sweet. But still, it's Meat Man. And I gave it a 9 for personals. This one gets 25.
That's not bad. I gave 9 for character and plot. And then I gave 10 personal, so it's a 28 for me. Now, we have episode 16.
Why are there eggs? Why are there eggs?
Eggs for days. It's Easter, and the Belcher parents compete every year to see who can hide their eggs better. Even though the kids aren't the biggest fans of the epic egg hunt, they participate for their Easter baskets. Only the parents got drunk off of jelly bean schnapps and don't know where they hid all of the eggs, so one is rotting somewhere in the apartment. Mr. Fishoder finds the Belchers sleeping in the restaurant to avoid the smell and threatens he may have to burn the building if the egg isn't found. The smell starts to make its way into the restaurant just as Lent is ending, which brings in a lot of customers. Linda takes a whiff of schnapps and remembers she put it in the air vent, but as Teddy is reaching for it, something grabs him and takes the egg. They hear something in the crawl space and Bob insists on going in to get the egg. Bob and Teddy find Big Baby Pudding Snatcher with the egg and her babies in the crawl space and have to figure out how to steal it back. Louise admits they hate the egg hunt and they do it to make their parents happy. In the end, they use pudding cups to lure the raccoon family out and retrieve the rotten egg. What did you get for the vacant storefront?
I can rate this.
I know, right?
Lin-Manuel's Verandas patio furniture. That's so fucking hard to say.
Can we just
We were-
talk about Lin-Manuel?
We were just talking about Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm like, yeah, so Lin-Manuel's Verandas patio furniture. There we go. I got a clean one for you.
And the pest control truck,
It was 2 Crickets to Paradise exterminators.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
And burgers of the day.
So I got 2. I think the last one I think was a guess.
Yeah, the last one is it's just about visible in the establishing shot of the restaurant.
Yeah, that's Passion of that. Yeah, that one. So the one we can actually see is Emergency Eggs It Burger.
Yes.
And then the one that I think I got correctly through the window is Passion of the Cross Burger.
It's Passion of the Cress.
Okay, I was close enough.
It was close. All right. So in the store next door for this episode, obviously, is referring to the Hamilton. See, I can talk to creator. Soon after the first broadcast of this episode on April 2nd, 2017, Miranda changed his Twitter background to a shot of the store from this episode.
Aw.
Like he actually used it. I thought that was really funny.
That's cute.
The brand of jelly bean flavored schnapps that Bob and Linda drink in this episode is Molyneux, a reference to Lizzie and Wendy Molyneux, the writers of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And the song the family play on the radio to get Big Baby Pudding Snatcher is Rock Me Amadeus. Rock Me Amadeus. I can't speak tonight by Falco.
That song
That
song is so funny because there's a Simpsons bit from an old Simpsons episode. There's a musical they do. I have a point here, I promise. They do a musical version of Planet of the Apes. And it's so in Planet of the Apes there's Dr. Zaius.
Oh my god.
So there's a moment in the episode where you just see these people these animated characters in Planet of the Apes costume going, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. It's because it's so perfect. My dad and I
love that.
That's one of our favorite bits because neither of us really watch the episode super often, but we'll watch that. No context.
70 eggs is a lot of eggs.
Yeah, that's a lot of eggs. It's true.
So
it's too many eggs.
Don't make me do math.
Feelings aren't Easter eggs. I can't hide them forever.
I have to say this next one with a straight face. I can do this. Fuck. It's really hard when it is a really funny line, but it's me in my brain. Just glaze me and get it over with.
I can feel my blinks. They hurt so much.
Last one to find the rotten egg is a rotten egg.
I lost the year 1996 to schnapps. to this day, I still don't know what the Macarena is.
Don't tell me. I'll figure it out.
The environment I was in was schnapps.
Maybe it was Aunt Gil. Yeah, we haven't seen her in a while. She seems like she could be a wall person.
A gay raccoon can't have babies?
Oh, right. I forgot you guys were crazy raccoon people.
We'll mix
Wait, just...
Okay.
Sorry.
No, finish.
Wait, just because we watch the raccoons in the alley? It's fun. It's like a soap opera. It's more like an HBO miniseries. Lots of plot twists, some nudity. You'd like it. You just got to catch up. Why is there nudity?
Why is there nudity when it comes to raccoons? We'll mix your ashes together and make a manly potpourri.
Oh my god. I know it's surrounding eggs, but like the lines in this.
No, I know. I have one more. I don't know if you have any more.
Okay. I don't have any more.
I would never eat candy that was 25% you guys.
Oh my god. It's the jelly bean schnapps that she bought from somebody in a parking lot, though.
Yeah.
Linda.
Like, I mean, I know she's Linda, but I'm with Bob of like, I'm pretty sure they sell things in the store where you can check out.
But like, I love how he's immediately 100 proof. Is that even legal? She bought it in the parking lot.
Exactly. Who knows what that is?
I had a moment too. I was like, watching this as a sober person makes me realize how happy I am to be sober. I hate hangovers. Hangovers are the little worst. One of the reasons I went sober is because hangovers lasted 2 days for me, not just one.
Mm-hmm.
I reached a point with my POTS. It dehydrated me so bad that like my hangovers last days, not just like maybe a day or a half a day.
Mm-hmm.
Days.
I've been fortunate in that I'm usually pretty good about drinking water as I drink because, and I may have told the story on the podcast before. I don't know. My friend loves to tell the story because she thinks it's hilarious. The first New Year's that my whole friend group was 21 was really the first. I mean, like we did like, you know, a champagne toast at midnight because her parents let us, like when we were like 18. But That was like with everyone's parents' permission, but legally putting that out there. But once we were all 21, we all had a lot of fun. So that first one though is the only time I ever got that, and that might be the only time I've ever gotten that drunk. But because I basically drank for 8 hours straight. Like I got to her house.
I've done that.
I got to her house at like 8 p.m. Started drinking the bottle of wine that I brought with me, and then other hat people brought other alcohols, and we drank, and there was cider, and there was this and that.
Oh, you started with wine though?
That's what I had.
Oh,
and so I basically drank from 8 p.m. until 4 a.m. and woke up incapacitated. But I decided it was a smart decision to drive out of my way to go to McDonald's before I went home.
Hangover food.
Well, chicken nuggets are my preferred hangover food.
That's a good hangover food. No, we have very different childhoods. So, mom and dad, don't listen. But I had my first drink at 11, and it was bootleg moonshine.
I mean, I had my first drink well before 21. Let's just put that out there.
Okay, but 11?
Not 11.
Not 11. I'm just laughing at you. Like, all the parents said it was fine. They were okay with it. I'm over here like, you don't want to know what I was doing at 18.
Well, that was the thing of like someone's parents actually, when they found out that's what they were doing, found out that that's what we were going to do, like they actually tried to be like, you should be doing this and that. And my best friend's parents were like, it's our house. If you don't want your daughter to have a very small bit of champagne, we won't give her one.
Yeah. But like 18, I'm of the belief, like, I know I don't drink, but I'm of the belief if you can serve our country and like go into another country and die for us, maybe you should be allowed to drink alcohol.
Yeah. This is still my favorite story because my first winter break home from college, my brother had some friends over and he's older than me. And he had some friends over. They were pre-gaming, but they ended up not going out. They just ended up drinking in our house.
It's better that way.
It really is. And they were all, they were doing shots of Fireball, and being an 18-year-old, that was my drink of choice, was Fireball and Angry Orchard, because Angry Balls was a thing, and that was what it was called. And
never heard of that a day in my life. Northerners,
that's what we called it. So Yankees. I take the shot, and like I don't chase it with anything because I've been drinking it more or less straight for the last 3 months. And my dad's in the kitchen with us, and he looks at me. He goes, "Was that your first shot?" I went, "Ever?" Like, internally, do you want the real answer? Then my mom went, "No, that wasn't her first shot."
No, obviously.
Like, she could tell. But that's my favorite thing.
I don't have good stories around alcohol. I can't tell fun stories around alcohol. Mine are horrible. There's a reason I'm sober.
We had very different upbringings.
Very different upbringings. Like, seriously, how many days am I at? It's actually reached a point, I don't know how many days sober I am usually.
Okay.
Oh, I'm 261 days sober on the day of recording it.
Nice.
So. Also, jelly bean schnapps just sounds fucking disgusting.
Oh, it sounds terrible. Like, I'm
sounds horrible.
Peach schnapps, butterscotch, or peppermint. That's all I'll do.
But when he was just like, it's great. It feels like I'm eating all flavors of jelly beans. I was like, that shouldn't taste good. That shouldn't taste good.
Unless it
black licorice with like cherry? No.
Unless it just tastes like pure sugar. No.
See, I don't like cherry. That's why I say that.
No, cherry jelly beans aren't good.
So the eggs. We have to talk about the eggs.
So I thought it was an interesting take on the egg hunt because as a Jew, I don't understand the point of egg hunts to begin with. I don't do Easter. That's not a thing we do. We instead hide the afikomen, which is the top layer of matzah from the matzah box. We hide it. So you wrap it in something, you hide it somewhere in the house, and whoever finds it gets money. Like, that's ours is in the spirit of competition, as it should be, because it's only one person can find it.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I liked the take on it, that it was more about the parents competing about who's the better egg hider than the kids competing for who's the better egg finder, because I feel like that incentivizes the hiding spots to be difficult, but you still shouldn't make them so difficult that you're doing this for 14 hours.
Yeah, it's a really, like, that's just too many eggs. And on top of that, like, all I can sit here and think is about egg prices right now.
Right.
And the fact that, like, most people for an egg hunt get, like, plastic eggs. They put little prizes on the inside and you hide them. Because we do egg hunts. We don't do them for Easter.
Mm-hmm.
I am pagan. I practice Ostara.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that is a whole debate as a pagan. No, okay, I just need people to understand that Easter was not stolen from pagans.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually kind of separate. Now, the bunnies and the eggs are pagan.
Okay.
The bunnies and the eggs are pagan because Ostara is a fertility holiday. So yes, bunnies and eggs are symbols for fertility. So
Gotcha.
there are aspects of Easter that are,
Paganistic.
definitely pagan.
Yeah.
But the actual Christian holiday of Easter has other ties, also actually into Passover. So while a lot of people are like, "Oh, Easter was stolen," that there's nuance there.
Yeah.
And every year it's different when it's like, oh, it's Christmas. Christmas is extremely it's Yule. Christmas is Yule. Like that one very much was like is a pagan holiday.
Yeah.
Easter is different. I feel like a lot of people just don't realize how many holidays have been just commercialized. Like, because then you go into like Groundhog's Day is just Imok.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's actually a holiday, guys. Like it exists. It's a pagan holiday. So even your Groundhog Day is pagan. And it's funny because you will see that debate on the internet every year, whenever Easter is. And because Ostara is also, of course, an equinox for, yes. Is that one? Yes, it is that one. There's so many.
Well, technically speaking, there's only 2 equinoxes.
No, I meant pagan holidays.
Okay.
Because even though I'm Norse pagan, I tend to follow the wheel of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I do that because if you look up the actual calendar of Norse pagan holidays, there's one like every 2 weeks.
That sounds like Judaism.
Like, there's so many. Oh, really?
Well, again, like wow. Here's the thing. Yeah, with Judaism, to be fair, there is a holiday every week. That's Shabbat. So there quite literally is a holiday every week. But really, if you were to break down they're not always the same level of importance. Obviously, not every holiday is going to be a you can't work kind of holiday. Otherwise, no one who actually follows.
I know Shabbat has like lots of rules and stuff.
Well, yeah, Shabbat is that's the weekly thing. That's the weekend. It's your time of rest. It's your time to connect with your family. It's a very beautiful thing to have. It's good to have that built into your week. But it's also a case of like if you take it a little too literally, bad things happen. And it's just because like it's the thing of like Judaism always favors obviously the life of the Jewish person. So it's the thing of like if something happens on Shabbos and somebody needs an ambulance or they have to go to the doctor. Jewish faith is not going to tell you don't go because you can't get in a car. Like they want you to live.
Okay.
But the thing is, you're going to go to a hospital where they can't press the buttons on the elevator. Oh, have I never told you the concept of Shabbos elevators?
No.
Yeah.
What?
So also, I realize I use Shabbat and Shabbos interchangeably. Shabbos is just the Yiddish version of basically take a Jewish word that ends in T. If it ends in S, it's just Yiddishified. Basically.
Okay.
That's Shabbos just sometimes rolls off the tongue easier. I can't explain why. But yeah, so Shabbos elevators or Sabbath elevators, what have you, are elevators in hotels, in hospitals, in areas where there are large Jewish communities. Like it's not a legal requirement that everyone in the United States needs to have one. But if there's a large,
I have no idea what this is.
If there's a large Jewish community and you've got tall buildings like hospitals or hotels, they will usually designate one elevator that from sundown on Friday to sundown on Saturday, it will be set to a setting where it just stops at every floor all the way up and every floor on the way down. That way, all you have to do is get on it. And you might have to wait if it's going in the wrong direction or what have you. But that way you don't press the button and therefore you're not creating the work that is the electricity of sending it or calling the elevator and sending the elevator to a specific location. That's how granular Judaism gets, is we have our own elevators.
That's crazy. Wow. I don't mean crazy like bad.
No,
I mean crazy like that's wow.
It's bonkers.
That is crazy. See, and I'm over here like pagan, like, wait, what holiday is coming? I think Imok actually is next.
No, that makes sense.
Like Imok, I think, is next, and then of course the equinox, because we have because it's really, like I said, I do the wheel of the year because there's just too many there's too much going on with the Norse calendar. I am disabled. I cannot keep up with that to save my life. I barely keep up with the wheel of the year.
Yeah.
But to keep math easy, I like the wheel of the year because you have your equinoxes and your solstices, and there is a holiday between each of those usually. So. We just had Yule, so we're going to have our little in-between soon, and then we'll move on to the equinox. Yep. So, but it just keeps it easy. It makes it easy.
But, so when I heard this in the episode, because I realized with the episode where they go down to see Linda's parents, we have the map, so it confirms they're in New Jersey.
Yes.
But Linda's line about Kelly Ripa being from New Jersey, I'm like, oh, this is about the first time they verbally confirmed they're in New Jersey.
It is.
Yeah.
I had a feeling you'd pick up on it.
Oh, absolutely, I did. I was like,
That's
wait a
why I
second.
didn't say anything about it. I was like, Lauren's gonna
this.
gonna say something about this. I just know it.
I heard it. But Fish Odor, his good save, breathalyzer showcase.
Also, how are I didn't know there were brothels in New Jersey.
I mean, legally there shouldn't be.
There shouldn't be. Nevada's a different thing, but
Nevada, we had that conversation already.
You can in Nevada.
Yes, you can.
Have you ever seen that creator that actually used to? I don't know if she used to or still does. Works in a legal brothel in Nevada, and she talks about all the different things containing it. It's kind of funny. It's interesting more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you think of the raccoons?
I called it being raccoons very quickly. Basically, as soon as Teddy lost his arm briefly into the vent, I was like, "It's a raccoon, isn't it?" And then. Yeah, and then it was and the smells in the restaurant. Because I at this point I knew the natural progression of what was going to happen is that, and then I was like, Bob does know the crawl space.
He likes to talk about the crawl space a lot, and it's funny because I love that the family, we don't hear it a lot, but I love that the family's like, we know you've been in the crawl space, and they're just taking it all the way back to the beginning to episode 2, which is so much fun. I love when we get raccoons because, like I said, we get raccoons, but we don't get them as often as I'd like. And this time, it is not Little King Trashmouth.
No, this was Big Baby Pudding Snatcher.
I love Linda and her naming of raccoons.
What are these names?
But she had babies.
She did have babies, but it's just so... But again, a gay raccoon can't have babies?
A gay raccoon can technically, like they said, a surrogate maybe.
Yeah.
For all we know, those babies are Little King Trashmouth's surrogate babies. For all we know.
This is true. We don't know the truth behind them.
We need more raccoon lore.
Apparently, yes. That's what we need in life. Isn't that what everyone needs in life? More raccoon lore?
And that's probably the main reason I really love this episode, apart from just seeing the family dynamics. This episode in no way can be disjointed because it's the whole family together. They don't leave the house. They are always either in the apartment or in the restaurant. I really do enjoy when we just have the whole family together. Of course, the stories when they're not together are fun, but there's just something about when it's the whole family and their shenanigans, and you see their family dynamics that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
But yes, there you go. More eggs. I wonder if this is the last we see of eggs in our podcast career, but I have a feeling it won't be.
I would love to say that. I mean,
there are going to be more eggs.
Thinking back to Once Upon a Time, I don't, because we're not getting any more dwarf lore.
No.
So I don't think there's any more eggs there, much that I can think of. There will be talk of pancakes, but that's a little different.
That's different. See, I feel like we don't get... See, I really enjoyed this season because we get a lot of holiday episodes. We've already gotten Valentine's, we've gotten Easter, we got Christmas, we got Thanksgiving. Let me double check before I actually say these words, but I'm pretty sure we also get a Mother's Day episode too.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So they just packed all the holidays into season 7 because you don't get that in every season.
No.
So I can't recall another Easter episode though, from my own memory. Like I said, I don't remember. I want to say season 11 and up as well as I do 10 and down. Yeah,
but also Easter episodes aren't as common in any TV show, mainly because my guess is because of the timing.
Because it's different every year.
Yeah.
Which is always weird to me, but I don't understand that math.
Well, this was another...
It's always a certain... Because Easter's only a certain day, so many days after a certain thing. I don't remember. Well, because
this was a conversation this last year, not so in 2024, because my dad was insisting that it always had to be calculated around Passover, and I'm like, well, then why is Easter in March this year and Passover is in April? And he's like, so there's no calculation. It's not a certain number of days after Passover. It's usually... But because I went no... Passover is late because this is a leap year in the Jewish calendar. And he's like, well, because for those who do not know this, more Jewish lessons, leap years in the Jewish calendar don't add a day. They add an entire month.
That's crazy.
So that's why holidays are also we thought that Easter and Passover were connected somehow with the calculations, but they're really not.
See, I'm not a fan of the Gregorian calendar anyways, so I prefer the lunar calendar.
That's fair.
But it is what it is. Well, because it's actually our calendar is so dumb. We could actually have a better calendar if we actually did it right. I think it'd be like an extra month, but every month would have the same amount of days.
Yeah, it'd be 13 months.
Or
But
something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. It'd be like
Yeah.
13 months, but there would be like 30 days every month.
But people don't like the number 13. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It is.
What did you rate this?
So I gave Eggs for Days 8s across the board. It was a solid episode. It was a lot of fun. It was more raccoon lore. It was eggs. And I was just like, why is it eggs? But I did like that it was more, that it was the whole family chaos, but it was also a twist on what I normally see about egg hunts, which is like the kids competing to try and find things. It's really is the parents competing, using the kids as like the mode for that, which I found really interesting. So
Yeah.
So 24 out of 30, solid score.
That's not bad. I mean, like, and it's kind of, this is one of those episodes too, you can really see how Teddy has pretty much infiltrated the family. Like, it doesn't feel disjointed, even though Teddy is there.
Exactly.
Like, and that was the same in the last episode, even though it was, Tina wasn't there. They do that a lot. It's just not Tina there.
Yeah.
Where Teddy is there, but it doesn't feel disjointed because it's like they've just conditioned us to have Teddy around.
Yeah.
Like, we're used to having Teddy around.
Well, so if they're going to go into the crawl space and everything, Teddy makes sense.
Teddy does make sense. But I gave this a 30, which I don't think is a surprise.
Not at all.
Because I just really enjoy this episode. I think any episode with raccoon lore, I just get really excited because I am that dumb white lady that would 100% adopt a raccoon if I could. Instead, I have pit bulls. Like, I am that white lady. I don't care.
Tomato.
Yeah. I just get another large, scary animal, even though pit bulls are not scary.
Not
They're
at all.
cuddlers and they're the best. Like,
Yeah.
they are big fucking babies. I love my pit bulls. But no, I did. I got so excited. I was like, oh my God, we're doing eggs. To the point I looked at my husband and I was like, hey, guess what Lauren has to watch. I do that a lot. I get really excited when I go to watch and I'm like, or we'll like turn on the TV and it's on to the next episode like I do a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I just look at my husband and I'm like, haha, Lauren has to watch this. And he's just like, I know.
I'm aware.
You've been doing this for a while.
Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss Once Upon a Time, episode 402, Whiteout. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. Follow us at OBDYK_pod on Instagram and TikTok. And if you'd like to join our Patreon, you can find the link with more details in our show notes.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Katie and Lauren and edited by Katie.